these are from our gardens, but what if I tell you we can use them in our graphic design? Of course not like this, we'll do it in our way. Hi guys, welcome back to Dexplorion, where I share my design process in Photoshop and try to create something artistic. And if you are still wondering who the hell am I, you might be new here. Let me introduce myself. I am Didi. I am a Photoshop enthusiast and graphic designer based in India. Along with the design process, we also discuss various tools, techniques and tips and tricks which can improve your Photoshop skills and elevate your graphic design game. The sand dust effect in Photoshop is all about turning your artwork into motion, grit and drama. It mimics the look of sand or dust particles breaking away from our subject, like they are exploding, dissolving or being carried away by the wind. Visually, it adds energy, texture and depth, making a static image feels alive and cinematic. What makes the sand dust effect powerful is its storytelling. It can symbolize transformation, destruction, freedom or time slipping away. One image, multiple emotions. That's why designers love it. Perfect for adding that epic high-impact Photoshop finish where design don't just sit still, it moves. So let us now move to the screen and do our thing. We'll bring in the image we'll be working with onto the canvas and resize it accordingly. I'll be using two images today, one above the other, kind of like a double exposure, and if you happen to like the image, you can find the download links in the description. After putting the first image in its place, we're gonna bring in the second image, but there is a problem with it. Our first image is facing towards the left, but this image is facing the other way and we have to change that to align both the images. To do that, keeping the transform tool active, we'll right click on the image and click on flip horizontal here and it will be done. I will place it here and make it a little bigger. To align it properly, you can also bring its opacity down temporarily. Now that everything is all set and we have the basic layout, we can start working on the effect. We'll add a layer mask to the top image layer and mask out some areas which we don't need. For that, we'll take the brush tool, right click to open the brush settings and select the soft round brush. Flow should be 100%. Make sure the foreground color is black and we're gonna paint over these areas to mask them out. Change the flow to 20% and paint along the edges to make the fading gradual. After we are finished, we'll make the opacity of the layer 100 again. Now we'll make a copy of the top image layer by pressing Ctrl or Command J and we'll rename the original layer as image 2. This will be image 1. We'll turn off the visibility of the image 2 layer for the time being, and in this layer we'll be only keeping the subject sitting on the sand. For doing that, we'll select the layer and take the object selection tool and draw a selection of our subject like this, and Photoshop will do the rest. And it has done the job pretty well. We have to refine the selection in some places, and for that we'll go to the select and mask workspace, select the overlay option in the view drop down, take the brush tool here and paint over the areas we want to add. To exclude parts from the selection, we have to hold the Alt or Option key and paint over those areas. After you are done, hit the OK button and our selection is ready. And now we have to mask the areas outside the selection, and for that we'll select the layer mask of the layer and then we'll invert the selection by pressing Ctrl or Command Shift and I. And after that, again take the brush tool and do the masking. Done. Press Ctrl or Command D to deselect. Turn back on the image 2 layer. Now we'll convert this layer into a smart object and rename it as subject and work on this layer to create the effect. We'll again make a copy of the subject layer, turn off the copy layer, select the subject layer and now go to filter. Then go to blur gallery and click on path blur. We'll be taken to a different workspace and in here we'll find this arrow with 2 anchor points. The arrow shows the direction of the blur and we have to change it according to the direction we want. Since we are working with the sand effect, I want the sand to flow upwards, and so I will hold this anchor and move it downward to make it vertical. Stretch this anchor a little more up. And now we go to the right towards the options available to us over here and increase the speed slider, and you can notice the blurring taking place. Let's keep it here for now and go here to edit blur shapes and click on the box to turn it on. Now we have 2 more arrows with which we can give the blur we just created some shape. First, stretch the arrows to increase and spread the blur even further. And then we're gonna move the anchor points in the middle to bend the blur as we like. At this point, I want to warn you about something. The path blur tool is very graphic intensive and it will suck the hell lot of juice from your machine, and you may notice some lag or delay in producing the results. Don't worry, it's totally normal, especially when you are using an older machine. Just wait for some time and it will be done. Let's continue what we are doing. I'm done here, so we can hit the OK button and wait for it. And after waiting for quite a good amount of time, this is what we have. Still not satisfied, we can double click on the blur gallery here in the layer, go to the path blur workspace again and make the changes we want. Looking good, but we are not there yet. We have to do some more work to get the effect right. For that, we go to filter again, go to noise and click on add noise. We need a little bit of noise. Now we turn back on the subject copy layer and we'll apply the same filters we used in the subject layer. And the fastest way of doing that is holding the Alt or Option key and click and hold the smart filter here and drag and drop it onto this layer, and it will be applied here as well. Easy, isn't it? That's the benefit of staying with this channel, because I keep on making such videos and sharing such cool tricks. And if you want to see more of me, then I would request you to like and subscribe the channel and share it with your friends and family. And tell them not to forget to press the bell icons so that neither you nor they miss out on any of the future videos. Coming back, we'll change the blend mode of the subject copy layer to dissolve and you can see the sand dust. And now it's time to do some layer masking. Before that, let's rename the layer as dust, and now we add a layer mask to this layer. Take the brush tool again, make it smaller by pressing the left square bracket key and wipe away the extra dust. We also gonna do the same with the subject layer. I'm done with this step. I think we don't need the noise in this dust layer, so we'll remove it by clicking and dragging it and dropping it onto the bean in the extreme down right corner, and it will be gone. I'm going to add some motion to the dust, and to do that, keeping the dust layer selected, we go to filter again, go to blur, and this time click on motion blur. Adjust the distance value to set the amount of blur and adjust the angle to set the direction. Set the distance to a higher value, and when you are satisfied, hit OK. Then we're gonna double click here in the blank space of the dust layer to open the layer style dialog box and click here to add some glow to the particles. Change the color of the glow from here. All done, and now we're gonna do some refinements. I'll make another copy of the subject layer and mark it as small dust. This will be our original subject layer without any filters, so we will turn off the smart filters here. You can delete them also, and we also don't need this layer mask. Our subject seems a little dull. Let's brighten him up, and to do that we're gonna add a curves adjustment layer over our subject and give it some contrast by lowering the shadows a little and slightly taking up the highlights. This was before and this is after. Let's clear some dust from his face and body. Right now our curves adjustment layer is affecting all the layers underneath, and we don't want that. We want the subject to be highlighted and have some sort of separation from the overall background, and to do that we'll hold the Alt Option key and bring the cursor in between the subject and curves layer and click to clip it to the subject layer. To make the separation even more prominent, I'm going to add an exposure adjustment layer over the image 2 layer and bring the exposure a little on the negative side. Also gonna add an exposure adjustment layer to the subject, clip it and adjust the exposure of the subject a little. Let's mask a little more of the image 2 layer. Kept the flow to 20% here. I'm also adding a layer mask to this image 1 layer and try to fade the image a little at the top so that it matches the rest of the composition. But this is not what we want. To create the effect, we have to first add a light background beneath, and for that we'll add a solid color adjustment layer and place it at the bottom. Change its color. And now when we mask, the effect is showing up. To make the sand dust even more prominent, we're gonna add a levels adjustment layer over the dust layer, clip it and adjust the midtones and highlights to make it shine. Do the same for the small dust layer. We are done with our composition, and now we'll be adding the text and finish off our poster. I'm using a font called Margot Grotesque. Go to the layer style and add a gradient overlay to give it a shiny look. Also gonna add a drop shadow. Make a copy of it. And we are done with the poster for today. Thanks for watching the video till the end, and I hope you liked it and there was something you can take away today. Now it's your turn to transform your imagination into reality, and don't be afraid of experimenting, because that's the way you can create something amazing. And if you're up for some more inspiration, then you can watch these videos.